Sherika Sherard! Transition! Yay! I did it! There she is, everybody! There she is! We did it, guys.
You know what? Yeah, that's the best. That is the best intro I've ever had in my life.
I'm glad it happened. Oh, you know what we're missing? Sherika. Before we start, I can't go on without this. Give me 1 second. There's no way I can get on without. There it is. We're ready. Now we're ready. We had to have my angry emo in the middle so we could continue on and get this conversation going. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Sherika, welcome. How are you today? What a stream earlier. I loved it. You handled it like a pro. I mean, there's nothing else you can do in those situations when you're when you're facing, certain death on stream. So you handled it well. You're just like, look, guys, this is what's happening. And you know what? Everyone went with you, and that's the beauty of streaming.
You know what? Like, everyone is so nice on here. Like, I have to say, like, just coming onto the Twitch community, like, because the thing is, like, when I first started streaming and when everyone else first started in lockdown, it's kind of like, oh, like, you're basically like gonna be on stage but on the computer, and I think getting to know everyone, especially on Twitch, it's just like, just chill, man. Like, it's not. Like, sometimes when you make a mistake, that's what it's like when you're working in real time, and it humbles me. So I really appreciate, like, everyone just working with me and also making me laugh through it as well.
How long did it take you to get a handle on your equipment? And I know that we never really truly have a handle, but like, to get where you're at, I mean, because it's not like your stream is like glitchy. I mean, despite today what happened, and we'll blame in Eunice. This is Eunice's fault. For the folks listening on the audio right now, the UK is being hit with Storm Eunice, which is gusts of wind up to 80 miles an hour. So it's wild over there. It's wild.
It's wild. Especially for the UK. We're not used to the drastic weather. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
You just see it on the news. Yeah, we like freak out when there's like a little bit of snow, and then there's you guys like, overseas, you're just like, it's like 5 foot of snow.
Yeah, we're just
it's great.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I thought that London had like just terrible weather, or at least like at least gray and rainy. I thought that you guys did get like blizzards and crazy weather and inclement weather. I didn't realize that it was just a foggy sort of place.
Yeah, it's just really foggy, and it's, what it is, and it's the people. Like, it's just a bit like, we're just a bit. I don't even say, because if you look, I can't even say like it's the weather that makes us like that, because if you look at places like Norway, they're just happy. Yeah, I don't. It's not like that here. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like when it's. I still have these stupid glasses on. Let me get those. Well, that's the thing, right? Like you have this. When the weather is sort of gray and there's this sort of mono cloud that sticks around for a good amount of the year, like, I think of places like Seattle, here in the States where it's gray a lot. Is there a lot of depression there? Like, do you guys got a lot of depression in London? Is that similar? Is there a lot of sad, gray people over there?
Yeah, I know it seems like I can only talk for me, I guess, really.
Sure,
but yeah,
sure.
Like, I think it does get to us, like the weather, and you know what it is? It's not really blizzard. It's just that it's windy, it's cold. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, with London, like other countries are like, okay, we're a hot country, we have aircon. Like other countries are like, okay, we're a cold country, yeah. So you like have to shovel the snow and stuff like that. London just like, oh yeah, let's just throw a bit of salt on the floor, and hopefully no one will slip. Like, just
that's good enough. That is good enough. Which is acceptable. I mean, we kind of do that, but like we had a snowstorm last night, and so it early in the morning you hear the truck scraping and throwing salt. You guys don't scrape your road. You guys just throw the salt down and just call it a day, or shovel.
No one has a shovel. The only shovel is the people who like do gardening. No, I've never seen anyone come out with a shovel. And it's just gardening. Like, it's just a bit of, literally, it's just just throw salt. And then it's like, and now, the council gets so lazy, that they don't even throw salt sometimes. They just put a box of salt on the side of the road and expect like some random person to be like, oh yeah, I'll do this for them. And we don't.
Well, hey, I mean, it's like, it's weird because like, like last year, Texas, and even this year, Texas, which is very south of us, is like very much a hot, deserty kind of place. They got all this snow last year, and it caused havoc. Like people didn't know what to do. People were like trying to warm themselves in their garage because they didn't have any heat. Their entire infrastructure, like their electric and their gas and all this stuff is sort of on their own little. Texas is like their own little planet, right? So they have their own little infrastructure, and it's not built for inclement weather. And so when it came, people didn't know what to do. They were freaking out. There was people warming themselves in their garages or their car parks to get warm and actually dying, because like they just didn't think about it. So it's to me, I grew up in Ohio. And we just live with this. So it's always weird to me when I see places that like sometimes do get snow and they're just like, we don't know what to do. Oh my God. Like, I mean, it's the same thing in Seattle. They just go sliding around all those hills. They don't know what to do. Everything shuts down and people just go nuts. It's like if they're not used to it. Same thing when I lived in Southern California, in San Diego. If it rained, people lost their freaking mind. There's accidents everywhere. Like people don't know what to do. Like everybody's using harder and more drugs and alcohol. It's just, it goes nuts over there. It goes nuts.
Yeah. It's like the things with the UK. I think it's one of those things that we like. Everyone's just a bit like, oh, just put the kettle on. It's just a bit like, all right, it's not really gonna solve things, is it? So
I love that though. I love that. Let's just put the kettle on and just call it a night. It's fine. It's fine, everybody.
It's funny because in my family, like my mom's from Guyana and my dad, he's from Philadelphia.
Oh, sweet.
And so we're not really hot on the hot tea in the house that I grew up in.
Yeah.
So I just remember when things would be going down, they'd be like, just put the kettle on that. I'm like, at my friend's house, I'm like, sorry, how does that actually like change anything? Like, you haven't really answered the question about what we're going to do about this. So,
yeah, the problem still persists. It's like the problem hasn't gone anywhere just because you put the kettle on. We're still stuck here in our space of feeling bad. Amber, I adjusted the Mexican meter. Thank you so much for putting us up to 25% Mexican, which is thank you for that. And then we have a would you rather, and let's get this done. So thank you, Saucy, for that would you rather. And anybody who's new here, feel free to use the channel points to ask a question. It's only one fresh bar. That's our channel points here, fresh bars. It's only one fresh bar, so it's a very affordable question. So if you have questions for our dear Sherika, please do not be afraid to use that fresh bar. And I'll ask the questions, as they come in order. And so it's kind of like a song list for me. I just sort of keeps them in order so we don't lose track. All right, we're gonna do a would you rather, Sherika. Now this is a would you rather. This is the filthy edition, okay? So we've had some pretty pure streamers on the show who got a little red in the face with these questions. So I hope you don't mind too much. It's not.
I'm game.
Sherika's like, bring that shit. We're going. All right, let me find one. Okay. No, that one. I think we did that one. Nope. Hold on. See, we've done all these. I gotta dig a little further, guys. Give me a second. Let me dig into this pile here because I know half stepper. And I'm gonna get it. I like that I like that you got Philly and Ghana in your bloodline. That's amazing.
Yeah, Guyana.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Guyana, and those are two different countries, correct? Ghana and Guyana. Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't mispronouncing Ghana.
No, a lot of people think I'm saying it's probably my accent as well.
No.
Oh, you're from Ghana.
You definitely say Guyana.
Yeah, some people say Guyana. But
okay.
in my family, we've always said Guyana. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, God, this is ridiculous. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. Sherika, would you rather always have your urination sound like a loud slide whistle or have your orgasm sound like a car backfiring? And this is open for the chat too, so you guys can let us know.
No, I think I'd rather the urination because because I know that if I was like that, my girlfriend would dump me like straight off. Like
every time you
like
every time you bust a nut, it's like
she's just like, do you know what I mean? And then it's like, and then everyone be like, what's that sound in the middle of the night? So even when you're trying to have like a sneaky one, yeah, it's like everyone knows it.
There's no hiding.
That's what I'm saying. So at least, yeah, with peeing, yeah, you can kind of like, it's like them men that like pee in the corner of a street, yeah, they're like, and what, yeah?
Yeah.
Feel like I could get away with that with peeing, yeah. Even though in a woman's toilet, they'll probably it'll be echoing like off the tiles, yeah. But I'd still try and rock it. I'd be like, what, doesn't yours do that? Yeah, you need to fix up then, because this is the new thing that's happening right now, yeah?
This is it. This is it. This is what everybody's getting plastic surgery for. Forget Kim Kardashian. Forget the Kardashian look. We're going for the pee whistle, son. What's up?
Reina said, harmonize every time you pee. That's what I'm saying, yeah? I'm like, what? You can't do this, yeah? You're not. Everyone is saying the pee whistle.
Yeah, I think that's Oh, and even Saucy, even my 8-year-old thinks that he's good, Saucy. I'm glad that you chose the pee whistle over the alternative. No, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think because even a pee whistle, if you got busted with a pee whistle or a whistle pee, you could just you could almost laugh that off, right? It's like, I don't know, I don't know. But yeah, if you're trying to get one on in the middle of the night and trying to,
That's what I'm saying.
You're at the in-laws or something, it's like, there's no explosions in the dark that's gonna make that conversation any less.
And especially with sex here, when it's not that type of session that's like big and loud.
Right.
So it's like you're being nice and intimate stuff, and then it's just a bit like it's like you're just messing up the vibe each time.
That's true too. Yeah, the vibe is gone. I couldn't even imagine it. Wow. Well, I feel like we're really getting to know Sherika right now. Like this is the real talk that y'all have been yearning for. Or urinating for. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, wow. Let's move on. Enough of the potty talk. So we got another question from the chat here, and this is pumpkin pie or apple pie.
You know what? I haven't tasted a good pumpkin pie yet, and the one that I did taste was nasty because I made it and I tried to make it vegan, and and so every time I hear pumpkin pie, I think about that. But I've had a good. Do you know what I mean? So I think it have to be the apple pie because I kind of shot myself in the foot like trying to make it vegan, and I was like vegan for about 2 years, and and it's like. See, I did it wrong because everything just started tasting like coconut oil. Like, and it's just one of those ingredients, where it's just like, oh, yeah, no butter. Okay, coconut oil, yeah. Like, oh, my days, like, I was like a fat vegan. So, yeah, and we literally, like, so I think, it would be the apple pie because,
No, you know what? I've had plenty of vegan pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie, and they've both been delicious. I've had great vegan sweets. But what's interesting about that vegan food is that a lot of it, especially the processed stuff, is not so healthy. Like the fake meats. I don't like fake meats. It feels like I'm eating compressed carbs. I'm just not like.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like I've known a lot of vegetarians and vegans over the years who went vegan trying to be healthier, or if there's some moral quandary they're trying to balance in their soul. But it's like it's always strange to me when they're either like overweight and puffy or like deathly ill and like frail but there's healthy vegans. I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying that there's a right and wrong way to do things, and so I don't if you are going to think about going vegan, you definitely want to research it and make sure that you're
and that's the thing, like it sounds nice at first, isn't it? Okay, of course I want to do something to help the planet and stuff like that, Of course, there's nothing wrong, but then you kind of got to do your research. And I think sometimes, and me for myself as well, is that people get caught up on the hype of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, look at all this new stuff. Oh, I can eat this junk food and I can eat. But it's like, that's still junk food. Like you still have to eat healthy foods. Even if you're not vegan, like you can't be eating like a Big Mac or like just really high fat meals all the time. So I think that's the thing, like, because you're doing something so new, you just want to try everything. But I was like that. I was buying all the processed burgers and stuff like that, and it was just like, I'm actually not feeling good. And I honestly think like the that pumpkin pie was the last straw, because it was just a bit like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not doing this properly. And now I have loads of vegan meals. Like I'm not one of them people that be like, oh my god, where's the meat? Like, I'm not like one of those people. But it's like you got to do your research, and I think that's the thing. You're wanting to do good, but you're not doing your research.
Yes,
which a lot of people do. So.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I had a vegetarian friend who was like, I don't eat meat, I don't eat nothing, but she was just smashing Cheetos and like Milky Way bars, like chocolate bars. It's like she just ate like the worst food. It's like, I'm vegetarian. I'm just like, okay, why? I don't understand. Like, what is it? Every so often I am falling into the laziness trap. It's really not easy to prepare all the good foods. No, it isn't. And here's the other thing, right? Like when you've had a long day and you've just been going all day and maybe you have kids, maybe you've been, maybe you didn't have time to come home, clean, cook, and do all the things. It's like, yo, I'm going to stop by McDonald's and get myself a cheeseburger and call it a night and feed the kids that so they'll shut up. Or junk vegans, yeah. I mean, you could. I completely agree.
And I think another thing that happens with vegans is that everyone puts such a spotlight on them because they want to be vegan.
Yeah.
So it's like when they decide not to, it's like people make it hard for them, and I hate that because it's like someone's trying to do good, even if they decide, oh, it doesn't work for me or anything like that. It's like you shouldn't put so much of a spotlight and like make them feel like anxious about it. Like one of my friends was like, oh, you know what? I've actually decided I'm gonna stop. And they were like it was like they were confessing to me, and I was like, it's cool, man. Like we're all human. Like we all So yeah.
I'm really sorry, but I just, I don't know how much I can do this, and please forgive me.
It was literally, and I was like, hey, I just want you to be happy.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy, bro. It's all good. Yeah. We're not hating. No, but there are people who are like take it very seriously, like the people who are judgy, who are like very judgy that you're out there. It's I would never put that in my body. It's like, all right, bro, I get it. All right, you're super healthy. Yeah. You're a triathlon vegan who's always tired. I get it. It's all good. I love you, baby. I love you. No, but here's the thing. The one thing, because I went vegan for like a month or so. Me and my wife both did, and then we were vegetarian for a few years. And like the one thing that we found out is like you got to have your B vitamins, and the problem with B vitamins is a lot derives from animal products. So it's like people who are doing these vegan diets, they got to understand is you got to have some sort of B vitamin, and you can get your B vitamins from other places other than animal products, but it's still like it seems to be the best source, and that's what's weird about it. I eat meat now, but I can't eat like beef. Well, I do, but very rarely I try, and pork. Those two things are very harsh on my system, and they just don't make me feel good. But but like going into like if you're gonna eat meat, like you also got to like consider all the shit that's in the meat as well.
Yeah,
and how
exactly. I think the problem with what it is that like everyone makes everything so polarized.
Yes.
Like, you need to empower people to. So if you are feeling really good, look, I wake up every day. I wake up about 6 a.m. I go for a run. I go to the gym. People are like to me, I'm like, look, I'm not telling you have to do this. Like, stop thinking that's what works for me. I'm in bed at like sometimes 9 p.m. That is boring to some people, okay? Yeah. And that is cool, but it's like I think it's such a shame because you can still take points like from different people. You don't have to copy what they're doing, but it's like that's really cool. And I think that's the problem. I just think the whole like, you're supposed to eat this. I wouldn't put that in my mouth. Oh, that is such a perfect like quote, like where it's like, mate, that ain't gonna empower me. Yeah, that's just gonna make me not want to eat around you.
You're not empowering shit, bro. You just look like a total asshole. All right, that's all you're doing for yourself, homie. Yeah. You're not convincing anybody of anything. Yeah. Sammy side effects. What's up, baby boo? I would shout people out if my stream labs didn't suck so bad. So my bad, everybody. I suck. My stream lab sucks. As you guys can see, this is a tech day for everyone. But yeah, man, I do remember those weeks that I was vegan, like that I didn't have the energy that I usually had, and that was a time when I was really working out and hiking a lot, and I was living in Southern California, so there was like mountains to go run up and stuff. So I did remember that I did have a little less energy. How did you feel? I mean, and I'm so sorry, maybe I misheard you, but you said you're not vegan anymore, or are you?
No,
still...
no, I'm not.
Okay.
But it was nearly 2 years we were vegan, and you know, it was great at first. It's like at first the change is always nice. Like when you first start going to the gym,
you
or
lose
when
weight and stuff. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're a bit like you're paying attention to your food, and that is really nice because it's like, oh, like I can eat more veg, and everyone should be eating more veg. Like at the end of the day, so it's just like when you're vegan, you just end up naturally doing so. Obviously, you had all the comments from people like, but I'm a person that gets to the point where I'm just a bit like, look, obviously you just are a bit scared of the topic. That's cool. But yeah, I actually put on a lot of weight. I put on so much weight, man. Like, I think it was like a good, like nearly 2 stone, like being vegan, because I wasn't doing it properly. Yeah, I just wasn't doing. And I was like working out. Still just like I got this picture of myself. I'm like, that is mad. And I got my first dog then, so I was going for walks. So I thought, oh yeah, I'm doing like more exercise. I just put on a lot of weight, and I just wasn't doing it properly because I wasn't like doing the research and stuff like that. And I was just feeling like, oh, I don't want to think about that right now. So let me just get anything in me. So like you said, I bought the mock duck. Yeah. The just all them things where it's like, even there's another thing where it's called what the pitta hair, but it's just literally like soya meat, and it's basically carb, isn't it? So it was just it was just literally it's just the worst foods, and I just wasn't doing my research now.
You're literally eating like bowls and meat patties of sugar. It's like literally just eating sugar. I mean, not the conversion. It's did a quick conversion to pounds. Thank you. 2 stones. Yeah, I had to think about that too. No, you're right. It's like when you first get on any diet or you first start working out, you get excited because it's like, oh my God, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know what, Amber? I thought it was 20 pounds. So thank you for that. I in my head, it was 20 pounds, but that's dope. I mean, dope. Yeah. It's dope that you gained all that weight. No, it's it's dope that you said 2 stones because I really didn't have any idea. Really, I just thought it was 20 pounds. That's it. So
close.
Have you had always had a thing about health? Have you always been healthy? Have you always been taking your health seriously, or has there been a time in your life where you were, maybe a little bit unhealthy than you would want?
I have to be honest. My partner is like a robot, and it's and it's kind of like, oh, if you're going, I might as well go. And so now it's kind of like we're wanting different things, so we do our own workouts now. Yes. But when we were friends at first, so she was always up going to the gym. So I was like, I'm quite like, oh, if you're going, then I'll go, because it's going to be hard if I just go by myself. So it made it a lot easier in that way. But then now I'm actually with her, it got to the point that it was quite unhealthy, where it was just a bit like everything was like counting calories, and I was like, oh my God, I can't live life like this. So she's more chilled now, like, and was like against carbs, but then like literally couldn't do the workouts. Like I was working out better than her. So it's just even that thing where it's like some people are able just to get up and go. And I'm a bit like, oh, you want to go and do that? I don't want to miss out on that, so I'll go.
Yeah, I suppose I'll go. It'll be a good time, I guess. No, you know what? That motivation is hard. It really is. It's one of the hardest things to do is motivate yourself, and that goes for creation or for exercise, for anything really. It's just like getting started could be like the biggest challenge for a lot of people, and that was the same thing for me. But the only thing that I could because I was like 325 pounds in high school, so and I don't know what that is in kilograms or
I know pounds too. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's like no, we know more about you guys than you know about us. It's all good. I get it. We know what's going. Cool. It was ridiculous. I weighed a lot, and then at a certain point in my life I decided to get healthy again, but it took a really long time until I was like, in my mid-20s and in my 30s to actually really take take a real stab at it, but it's really hard to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
But
did you feel pressure at that age? Sorry.
No. Well, yes, I did feel pressure. Oh, thank you very much, Jordy. I appreciate that. That's 136 kilograms for all of our overseas friends.
It's like double me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a biggin. But yeah, when I first got out to California, I felt pressure of being overweight in a place where health is like part of the environment. You know, like people are just healthy there. The sun's out. There's no reason for you to be inside all the time. You know, like all year long, you're just running around, running up mountains, going out, doing things. It's always like a fucking barbecue over there. I don't know, like a cookout. They're always just like partying and cooking out and like watching some sort of sports thing on the television. And stuff. I don't know, but they're killing it. You know, I love Southern California. It's just when I first got out there, I felt the pressure of, well, I was a young man. I was 23. And, you know, I'm a straight guy, so I was like looking to smash, and like I was a big dude. So, you know, being young and dumb, and my motivation was to get laid, honestly. So, but that works. But that works. No, please. Yeah. Whatever.
No, I just more asked because it's like I was having this conversation with my partner the other day, and she, we were both laughing because when I remember the first time someone said to me, "Nothing tastes good as skinny feels," and I was like, what does that mean? Like I remember because it was like at that age I just grew up with brothers, and it's like, nah, yeah, I'm gonna take your burger if you don't hurry up and eat it. Yeah. So it was just like food was like such a positive thing. So I guess that's why I was asking, because like it's funny because at that age for me, I didn't think about it. But then even what you're talking about being a straight guy, like even for me, I guess because I was gay when I was younger, but I don't think I was properly out until I was like 18. So I guess I just didn't think that I would like get with anyone that soon. So I was like, oh yeah, like it doesn't really matter. I could just eat what I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I imagine, you know, like it's similar for, you know, other people trying to hook up and stuff, especially in hookup culture, because that's what I was trying to do. I mean, I was 23 at the time. So it was like, for me, it was just, I'm just trying to hook up because all my roommates were having a good time. And I'm just like the fat, sweaty guy being awkward, like, hey, ladies. And you know what? You know what? And the thing is, you know, like, I'm sure you had an easier time, you know, finding people and stuff like that, just because you're cool and like you seem like you got your, you know, at least a collected cool going on. Me, I was always sweaty and erratic and awkward, so it was like I even as a big dude, I know I could have been able to, you know, connect with the opposite sex or with someone I wanted to, but it was just that I was so nervous and off-putting, and I don't know
I can't see that.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I was so nervous and like that's very off-putting to other people. I mean, even if you're not trying to hook up with somebody, being sort of nervous and awkward and sweaty, you know, it's off-putting to people, and it's like it's hard for people to connect with that. So that's that was a big part of it. I don't know, did you have those problems? I mean, like I said, you come off as real cool and like you've always,
honestly,
you seem like you just sort of float right into whatever scene that you want.
Thank you. That means a lot, because I think for me, like growing up, actually, so my mom was quite strict, so I wasn't allowed out a lot. So when all my friends were going to each other's houses, my mom would be like, "Where are you going?" "No, you're not staying at someone's house." So I think for me, it was like a survival tactic, because if people didn't remember me, then they would just forget me, and then so I think it's still a mask in a way. So you know, with music and stuff, like to be honest, even when I got into that, it was just something to put myself like in front of people, and there was a lot that I was still trying to find out about myself and stuff like that. And I think also with me, I went to also a school that was predominantly, there was a lot of black kids, but it was really segregated. Wow. And for me, it was like, I just don't care. Like, I'm just going to be in front of everyone. And I think that just kind of, even though people saw me as different, it was just I think it just meant a lot to me just to get in front of people and to find out who I was. Because it wasn't that my mom was like harsh, but she didn't see how important it was for me to get in front of people, because I was still trying to find myself. And even though that's such a young age to think in that much detail, I guess I just wanted, that was just my way of fitting in. Like, just my family had a lot of humor, and my brothers were like also quite popular. So I think for me it was times where I felt awkward, but I think with music it kind of just allowed me to push myself forward. So even if I just sang, it's like you kind of have accepted my music first, and then you'll chat to me anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the way I've kind of made sense of it in my head anyway, that, you know, because a lot of people do say, oh, you seem so confident, but I think it's also that thing of like, well, I need to like, yeah, I guess I felt like I needed to be seen. So I guess that just allowed me to become more used to like chatting to people, and also just, I guess, okay, if you don't like me, then I guess I'll just move off somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? It's like, cool, man, goodbye.
Right.
But yeah, but I think it's different. Well, from like my male friends and stuff like that, I think it's a bit, people didn't find me intimidating. That's the thing. So they didn't think I was gonna take their girl. You know, even if sometimes I did at the end, but they didn't. It was, you know what I mean? It's like they weren't like. I think with men, it's a bit because it's like, I don't know. I guess it's me being ignorant and saying this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I just think sometimes I didn't feel that people had to size up to me or anything like that. So it's like, oh, it's Sherika. Yeah. So I guess that kind of just allowed me not to have to feel as intimidated, and just kind of allowed me to be myself, because it was quite neutral. Like, I wasn't a really feminine girl. I hung out with a lot of boys. So I just found people didn't find me like intimidating. I was just kind of there.
Right. I mean, I don't think you got that wrong at all. I mean, dudes are totally sizing each other up, and they're totally, you know, it's always a challenge in something. It's just like, it's whatever that dude thing is, and in our brains, that's so deeply embedded. I mean, my God, it's just it comes out in the most, and it's interesting. I work at a homeless shelter, and you see it constantly in there, and it's like these dudes are living off survival mode, right? And so every little thing, if you touch something of theirs, like they get wild, or like they'll just stare at you. Like, some dudes will just be staring at you, and I'll have to remind people, I'm like, hey man, this isn't the prison yard. This is the homeless shelter, okay? You don't have to do this. There's no need for posturing. But in there, it's just so extreme, and to these extreme levels, and add like mental illness, drug addiction, and alcoholism, and all that. You got some really interesting things that happen and unfold. So, you know, I see that stuff so much, and I don't know, man. It's really weird thing that dudes do, and I could see how you could sort of just fit in with the dudes, because it's like, it's Sherika, what, you know, and then you come,
it's just like,
Miss Steal your girl.
No, because I have to be like, because even there's some like people that I grew up with, and you know, because sometimes with friendships it was just like, I always felt like it was just like, oh, Sherika, she's here, like she's easy to just chill out with. So but they weren't really there for me. So I think sometimes now, even growing up, like sometimes I can see in their face, they're just a bit like, oh, you motherfucker, man. Like, you're just like, like, and it's not but I think, I just found it easier for me, because it was, they didn't feel that intimidated by me. So it was never that sizing up or anything like that, you know. It was, she's cool, because, and I think with, because even one of my friends, like, he's a bit younger than me, and I used to take him to gigs and stuff, and he just be so, like, he used to find it so awkward, and he's like, yeah, but guys are just a bit more, and I'm like, God, that is such a shame, because it's just like, I guess they do just size up to you a bit. I just think it is a shame, but then I guess it's that thing that just means a lot to them, their status and stuff like that. So
I think that's part of that toxic masculinity stuff that they keep talking about. It can be toxic, but I also think it's a huge driver in you know, what motivates a man, and what motivates, you know, like, it can be a healthy thing that I think, if you, as a guy, if you have that in check, it can be a healthy thing to motivate you. I mean, to get you, you know, to the gym, even, you know, just that competitive notion, you know. It's like, if I don't meet each day running and sweating and having my heart rate over 195, then I fucking failed. Woo! You know, they just go fucking wild, and it's like, you know, and that's healthy, and that's worked for me in some ways, because I used to get up at like 5:30, hit the gym, get my day going, baby. Let's go. But that's changed because of, well, things have changed, but still, it's like,
I don't know. I think I totally agree with you that isn't just always negative.
Right.
I totally agree with you that sometimes you want that pump. Sometimes you want to be like, oh yeah, let's go for it.
Right.
And some of my friends laugh at me because I'm like, mate, just chill out. Like, if you're feeling this way, you're feeling that way, but don't be like, oh, this person. Because sometimes you can feel intimidated by someone because they're just like going for shit, and it's like, mate, just check yourself. Like, that's not a bad thing. That's how people get shit done. So I think people need to understand that we're just so complex. Do you know what I mean? So you can't just use like one rule for everyone.
Right.
I say.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like this, we've created this binary filing system for us. It's like, it's like toxic masculinity or that was bad idea. That was a bad example. Or like, or just like, left or right or red or blue or fucking Democrat, Republican, the whole thing, vax, anti-vax, this whole mask, anti-mask. It's like everything is sort of fit in this binary thing where there's no like real discussion, or there's no nuanced discussion about what's really going on, and maybe how these how certain people are affected by certain times and certain regions. Is like none of this stuff is taken into considerations when you're talking about one or the other. If we could have more of a nuanced conversation about things like like this, like toxic masculinity, that can be useful sometimes, and maybe it's not so toxic all the time. Maybe there's moments where this is very where this is motivating, or this is something that pushes someone to get healthy, or to do something good for their community, or do something good for themselves, or whatever it is.
It's so funny with the topic, toxic masculinity, because like I'm a masculine presenting woman, so and there's and sometimes you could meet like another woman like me, and they'll just say like they think that it's something that they have to. Like masculinity, I think it's so many things, and I think for me it intertwines with femininity. It's just presented differently, isn't it? And I think it's just such a shame because you get some people that feel like, oh, in order to present myself, I need to be this really masculine character. And even some of my friends that are like, gay, like masculine women, I'm like, mate, you're sounding like some like mini me of some man that you've seen on TV or something like that. It's like, just chill. Like there's so much more to be in. Like if you want to say you're masculine presented, whatever that even means, like, but to you, but it's like, don't stop going for these like, it's just like these cliches. It's just crazy. Yeah. It's so complex. It's basically what I'm saying.
Right. No, it's true. It's like not everything is solved by just like, this is what you are and that's how it is. It's like, there's more to it. There's way more to it. Yeah. Like people come in on a spectrum, and they come in all shapes and sizes and attitudes, and it's like to have some sort of nuanced look at how people interact and how people behave. I mean, I think that's only going to do us a benefit, because what's happening now is just sort of closing doors, shutting down conversations, putting up walls, canceling this person, that person, is bad. It's all turned into like, if I don't agree with what you're saying, shut up or go away. You know what I mean? And I don't see how you solve things by putting, like how do you break barriers by putting up more barriers is how I look at it.
I'm always like, look, like even sometimes, like even getting used to streaming, I try and talk about, different subjects, because I'm an opinionated person. Like I like to say this is how I feel about something. But I'm not scared if someone like challenges me, because I'm like, oh, you know what, I was wrong. And some people get so shocked when I say that, because they're like, no, I was ready to proper debate you on that. And I was like, no, I see your point, done. Like I have no ego about that. I think being wrong is such a beautiful thing. Like, sorry, it sounds so hippie, but it's like those are the moments of transition, right? It's like, oh, okay. Oh, you know what? But it's like this ego sometimes. It's such a shame because it's stopping these conversations. Like the whole cancelling and all this kind of stuff. Like even some people say, oh, you're still singing songs of this person, of that. And I say, well, you know what? It's because I think the public should be smart enough to know, that even if this song was by someone or something like that, number one, there's like 10 people behind the song. And this isn't me celebrating that person. Like having a statue of someone, okay, I could see it's a different thing. But I just think, it's if we were to do what was right, that like a lot of things would just be cancelled.
Right.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even be on this platform, to be honest.
No, yeah, no. I mean, like, we just got done celebrating Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg for the halftime show, and both of those men are accused of like very horrible things. You know, like Dr. Dre's been accused of beating women, and like, you know, Snoop Dogg's murder charges and stuff. You know, so like, you know, like everybody has something that's gonna cancel them, and the problem is that it's become very obvious now. I think it's become very obvious that now it's just being used as a tool or a weapon to silence those who sort of go against what the narrative is, and that's scary to me. To me, that's the scariest part. And
I think what scares me is like, I think what it is that now people are saying to people, oh, you got to speak up. You know, what are you about? What do you believe in? Cool, I'm all for that. Talk about what you believe in and stuff. But I get some of these people, and I call them like bedroom activists, where if something happens, like you're all there typing, you're all there doing all this extra stuff, this person ain't even seeing your, like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong in tweeting. To me, that's just you expressing yourself. It's not going to make change. Like, you know, it's the everyday things. And there's some people I've seen that be like, oh, this is so wrong, and something will happen in front of them, and they'll be like, like, do you know what I mean? It's a practice every day, and everyone can make that mistake. There's been times where I'm like, oh shit, man, I should have said something there, and sometimes you don't, and that's okay if you don't. But it's like, stop, like during the BLM thing, like I just saw some people getting so pumped up, that I was like, you need to understand that these people do not want to listen to you, you know. So it, like, sometimes I get it. You have anger sometimes. I'm not saying I'm wrong about protest, but you have to like really think about what your intention is here, because is it to be seen that you're against something, or is it that you want to get this message across? Because to me, those are two different things. And I'm not saying that everyone can, you know, present their anger in the right way. Honestly, for me, when the whole BLM thing happened, I was just quiet. I just did, like, it was too much for me, because it just brought up so many stories where I didn't stick up for myself. And it's such a weird feeling, because it's like all the people are saying this happened, everyone's talking about their experiences, and it's a weird thing to say, oh, this and this happened to me, and I felt like I couldn't speak up for myself. For me, that was like weird, because you know, you're bringing up all these things, and again, it just shows how complex it is. Like, and you know, there's times where I didn't stick up for myself, so how am I going to expect every single person to be able to stick up for me in that moment? I just think it's just so complex, man. And that's why you need to be having these conversations. You don't need to walk away from the conversation and think, oh, I've proven my point to that person. You need to remember that this person will probably remember the conversation more because of the points you made, so, and actually trying to find a connection with them. So that's the way I see it. Like, I think cancel culture is like one of the saddest things that's like just happened now. Like, you just hear more about what the person's done, and it's more like than actually, oh, why is that? Why did that person feel to say that? Like, it's just so complex, and I think it's a shame that so many people just look over it, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. It's like that's an interesting point that you brought up, how the whole, you know, sharing your stories, sharing your truths and stuff is sort of just reminding you of moments where you felt disempowered, where you felt like you didn't feel like you had power. So I could see almost like that's sort of almost stirring up trauma. I don't know, is that kind of, and then in a way, you know, it's healthy to sort of address these things, but I'm not sure if it's healthy to post it on, you know, Twitter, you know, and expect that to be some sort of form of, you know, making a change. I mean, I think that's something that you should probably talk about, but I don't know, maybe it's not a public thing to talk about, or maybe it is. I don't know. You know, I can't really speak on it, because obviously I'm missing some melatonin here. So I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not trying to say, you know, what people should and shouldn't do with their truths. It's just that, you know, maybe for some, like Sherika, it was just a memory of being disempowered, and maybe that's something that you're not really that comfortable
it's not
with.
And it's not something that you can just fix, is it?
Right.
Like, it's something that you kind of find your place for it in your journey and stuff like that. And I think even that, like, I totally understand what you're saying, in that when you're like, oh, like, I feel like I can't speak on certain things, but it's like and I get that, because some people do feel like, oh yeah, but why is this guy talking about it? And I get that, but then I just get to the point where it's like, even though I hate using this analogy, but it's like, I've seen people like speak up for animals, yeah, quick thing, like they'll be like, yeah, but what would that happen to you? What if this and that? And it's just a bit like, oh, but you can find, like, I'm not saying that you don't have empathy. It's not that, but it's just, that's the thing that scares me. It's like people feeling that they can't talk on it. I'm just like, oh, it's so, I'm not saying I have the answers, but it's just so like, it's so complex, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and then we're going back to like putting up barriers again because, you know, now this whole group of people can't speak on something. And there is things that, you know, that I'm not going to speak on because in my own personal beliefs that, you know, like I don't think that I should be out there talking on certain subjects that I have no idea about, you know. So like I as someone who talks a lot and gets paid for it, I've found my limitations, but I don't really steer away from the discussion of race, but I do steer away from me trying to talk like I've had these experiences, you know, like I've had
I get you.
I'm Mexican, right? And I've had these experiences where I've had, you know, racist little crackers talking shit to me, but it's like and I'm sorry I called you guys crackers, but it was just funny to me at the moment. It wasn't funny at all. But but you know, I've been on the schoolyard and I'm white until they see my mom. So it's like it was a weird dynamic for me. But that's not, you know, like but that's not me every day having to put, you know, me waking up being dark, you know, like, because I'm not. Obviously, I'm not. So it's so it's a different thing for me. It's weird because it's like I've had some experience and, you know, but mostly I get accepted as the white guy. So, and, you know, I'm white to everybody else except for, like, you know, a small
it
group
happens,
of people.
man. It happens. My girlfriend, she's half white and half Indian, and you know, to people they can see that she like might have something in her, but you know, you can see like even her last name's Patel, and she was like, when I had Patel on my CV, I just had to take it off, and you know, everyone has their privileges. I have my privileges. That's the thing, and it's it's just the way the cookie crumbles, baby. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, there's these idea too where people are. You know, people are like, maybe if we weren't so fixated, you know, this is what some people say, that maybe if we weren't so fixated on creating these categories, that maybe we could get past it. I don't know. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like I always say to, you know, to all my white friends and stuff like that, you are important, man. Like, and I think that's a message that's, you know, sometimes people. You know, people are like, well, I guess like white people always feel like they're, and it's like, yeah, you can get into that, but this is the now, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, we are all important, like in this, like so. Yeah, I think the idea here, I think that what we should all just be sort of grabbing onto is just growth and trying to grow and understand our fellow human beings as best as we can. And try our best to be mindful about what we're doing and what we're saying. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, like this whole movement. You know, with BLM and all these marches and stuff. I mean, really, we're asking people, or people are asking the general population just to be a little bit more mindful on how they speak and how they interact with others. And I think that's okay. But then again, once you start going past a certain point where you're like, now you can't say shit about nothing and you can't talk on this and you're canceled because you said that 10 years ago on Facebook. So fuck you and fuck the, you know, then it goes a little, in my opinion, it can go a bit too far. But the idea of asking people to be more mindful about what they're doing and saying, I think that's a beautiful thing because mindfulness is so key. It's so key to having a decent just a decent demure, you know, just have some sort of mindfulness. I mean, if you want to have any peace in your life, you got to be a little bit mindful about what you're doing. And it's just calm down, homie. it might
never calm down.
Yeah, never too much, never too much, never too much.
No, but yeah, I hear you, man. And I think when people are telling people not to speak about something, that's when you get the people who just want to say the worst thing possible to you. Like, that's something I'm getting used to here on the Twitch, man. Like, I was like, like being part of the Black History Month campaign. I was like, I just feel like there's not a lot of other people. Like, I don't know what the reason is for that, but there's other streamers that I see that are not on it. And then it's like, and then like, even when I got like some of the stuff to sign up to it. Obviously, there's stuff you got to do to your channel and stuff like that. And I'm just like, raw, man. Like, I'm really like having to like barricade myself.
You do.
And it's mad because at first, it's even taught me something. Because at first, if anyone said anything to me in the road, I'm not some road man where I'm gonna start punching up people, but they're gonna remember me, But like here on Twitch, it's just like just see certain like comments come in, and I'm like, this is crazy. But then I just had to sit, and like what you said about the mindfulness, like had to really tap into that, because I was like, we talk about like I felt like my ego. I'm like, how are these people? How dare they? And I was like, Sherika, man, like these people are just reacting, off of like just because everyone has made them feel like they can't say something, and this is the only time that they can have attention, is by doing this. And it's like, it's so true. Where it's just like it gets to the point where I'm like, you know what? My mindfulness is the main thing. So I totally hear you.
Yo, it's been like the most important thing for me is somebody who's been trying to work on not being like just an angry fucking just self-hating dick, like I'm really trying to being mindful is like been key, because it's like, holy shit, you're catching yourself doing these patterns that you fall into that sort of that hold you back, however you see that you're being held back, and or not see, because a lot of people are just going with the momentum of life, and they're just their psychopathy, or is that the right word, is just got the best of them, and they're just going with it, right? And they're just constantly setting fires wherever they go, burning down bridges, just fucking shit up. And drinking and drugging, doing it all. And then at the end of the day, they're just like, I just don't know why it all happens to me. It's like, well, fuck, dude. Maybe if you wouldn't have smoked crack and punched your mom this morning, maybe things would have been better for you. But it's like, bro, get it together. So it's like, for me personally, the mindfulness has been so key for my growth as a musician, as a human being, as an artist, as a podcaster. Is meditation is how I sort of got into it. Do you meditate? Are you into meditation at all?
You know what, I tried meditation for a bit. Like, I got this app, and I was like even trying the short ones, and I found it really hard, man. Like I can't, like I found it hard to sit still. It's like, and I know it takes practice. It's not like the first time it's like boom, silence, but I found what's been working for me is yoga, and I know that is me like putting another like working out thing into it, but
no, that's perfect.
I just think the combination of movement and for me, I've had loads of problems, like still having now with my voice and like tension and stuff like that, and it's another thing that even working out brought, because I was doing like heavy upper body weights, and it just adds a lot of tension. And for me, yoga is just like, I guess it has more of a rhythm for it to me, because when I'm sat, I just get so like deeply anxious. Like literally like 10 minutes, I just found it hard. And so I'm hoping that the yoga will just allow me. Don't get me wrong, I'm like that. Like as soon as the yoga starts and it's like, now what you gonna do? I'm like, oh, shut up, man. But then at the end, I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better. No, do you know what I mean?
No, I think that's perfect. Like yoga is like that beautiful balance between like exercise and meditation that I think everyone should do. Everyone should. I mean, honestly, I feel like if our world leaders maybe were just regular, like did practice yoga, regularly, maybe we wouldn't have so much conflict. Maybe we'd have a little bit more,
But that's the thing, they don't teach this shit. That's what gets on my nerves. Like, you're there in school, like learning about like, I don't know, like of course, like you need to learn maths and English. Don't get me wrong, but there's
they
so
teach
many
us how to
things where I'm
follow
just
rules.
Like, exactly.
And follow directions and listen for your bell so you know where to go and then know what to do next. It's preparing you for a job that doesn't exist anymore, factory work,
Yeah, it's exactly that. And that's the thing, like even like I was talking about my partner, but she's very different to me, and it's very like, okay, this time. And it works great sometimes because we need to get shit done, and it gets done. I'm not denying that. But for age and age, I was like, I think you should do yoga. I think you should. Do you know what I mean? It's like she like was very about education and stuff like that. And it's just like, even though it's great, you see exactly what you said, where you just see that someone's just been told to do something, like follow or like this and that, and it's great, but it's not everything, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's. I think it's great to have someone, like if you're not someone who is like completely organized, or maybe someone who's just sort of free floating, free going, and just sort of like, yeah, man, like you seem like you are. It's kind of nice to have a partner that is sort of like, no, we gotta get this done, we gotta do this, we gotta do. My wife is that. You know what? Like, my wife was talking about how she was on stream the other day. She was talking about how she nags me all the time. And I'm just like, it can be a little annoying, but it's actually very motivating. And so I wrote in chat, I was like, it's more motivating than nagging, because it's like, I look at who I was before I met my wife, and now I look at who I am now. And it's like, there is no way in hell that I ever want to go back to what that was. Whatever that was. And like, I'm not saying that my wife fucking came in and made sweeping changes. All these changes had to come from within as well. But her motivating me in the way that she did was really a very, very, life-changing thing. Like, it was just, she changed my life. It's a good thing to have. It is.
No, I totally agree with you. It's so funny because, I totally get what you're saying when they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just having to nag you about. And it's like, well, it is like, I don't naturally think it up first, but I know when she says it to me that it's the right thing. Do you know what I mean? It's in you.
Yes.
But you know how you get some people will be like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you get on my nerves, but I know it's right what you're saying.
Damn it. I have that same thing. No, I have to say this. But when we were moving back when I was moving back to Ohio from California, Reina's from California, so she don't give a shit. But when I was leaving California, like, California was like I was dying in California. Okay, I was gonna die. I pictured my son becoming a little beach bum surfer kid, like with the sun bleached hair, and just like, yeah, man, whatever, like I pictured that. But she was like, no, we're leaving because this place is just unattainable for artists to actually maintain a life here. And so I fought, but I knew, and I told her, and I vocalized it. I was like, you know what? I know that I fucking hate this right now, and I hate that we have to leave fucking San Diego, but I know that somewhere down the line, you're going to be right. And that fucking drove me nuts. And I would tell her that. And you know what? That fucking pandemic came, and I was like, I am so glad that I don't live in California right now.
But I think that's the beautiful thing, though, is because also it's that you trust them.
Right.
You know that they're making the best decisions for you. And sometimes, unfortunately in some relationships, it's not always that. But you know that it's like there's that trust there where it's like, you're not just saying this for the sake of it, or you like, because sometimes with my partner, I feel like literally like she'll do it by herself anyway. So I'm just like, she's like, if you want to come, come. If you don't want to come, cool. So I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna let you know I'm not 100% behind this, but I trust you, and I think it's such a nice thing to have.
Yo, exactly. My wife is. I attribute so much to my wife, and just motivating me to be a better person. Honestly, that's the best part about it, and I think it's great. We have another question, and this was asked like 50 minutes ago, so sorry, guys. I know that vegan question really sort of went places. I am almost always wrong, and my wife is always right. I feel this. Yes, my wife is right in perpetuity. It never changes. It only gets righter. It only grows with right. Okay, so we have a very, very deep and important question that we have to get out here. Rolling Stones or the Beatles? And this is from Jordy, my bad.
Ooh, Jordy, good one. I think it's the Rolling Stones, man.
Ooh, you can call me Jord. What's up, Jord? Rolling Stones? You're going with Rolling Stones.
And you know what? I actually know more of the Beatles songs, but if I was to choose to go and see, it would be the Rolling Stones.
Wow. You know what? It's hard. Honestly, that's a hard one. But what do you guys think? Let's hear from the chat. What do you guys think? Who would you go for? Beatles
like
or Stones?
neither.
Yeah, no, Reina doesn't like either one of those bands. Neither. Spice Girls. Shut up, Aaron. Aaron Shea. Hey, did you guys know that Aaron Shea is pregnant? She wasn't gonna tell anybody, but she said it was okay for me to tell everybody. So,
oh, congratulations,
Erin is pregnant. Oh no, she is not pregnant. I am spreading misinformation.
Oh,
in fact, some would call it disinformation. But yes, Erin Shea is not pregnant. She's not infested with any
don't
parasites.
lie. It's okay. We all love you here. Okay, we all help chip in.
We're a community, goddammit. We love you.
Yeah, exactly. Send some bits your way.
Yeah, she needs them. She needs them for that new drunken little parasite growing in her stomach. Don't be lying on my Australian pirate of a baby dead. Okay, I won't. Yeah, Erin Shea, welcome. I would give you a shout out, but my stupid shout outs don't work. So, everyone, click on Erin Shea and go follow her if you haven't already. She is amazing Australian. A singer, songwriter with her amazing guitarist and partner, Sai, who we all love and adore, and we all feel for. And a proud new father. Don't shout at me. I'll shout at you if I want to, Erin. You go do a handstand or something. Anyways, yeah. So Sherika said Rolling Stones. You guys are all looking like it's going for the Beatles, except for Jordy or Jord. He picks the Stones too. You know, who would you pick, Erin? Oh, stop it. Yeah, Erin, who would you pick, Beatles or Stones? Because I think Mick Jagger is beautiful. You know, Mick Jagger is weird looking to me as a dude. As a straight dude, Mick Jagger is weird looking. I think
he does look a bit like a leather handbag at the moment, I have to say.
A bit, yes, he does look a bit. I mean, especially these days. There's just something about his mouth. It's like him and what's his name? The dude from Aerosmith. They both have this like mouth thing that bothers me. Same with Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts has this mouth thing that doesn't do it for me. Yeah, the Rolling Stones logo is the shit. Leather hamburger, yeah. I would think... Yes, thank you, Steven Tyler. I think I would go for the Beatles just because I like their songs more and they have more songs. But I love the Rolling Stones because they're so goddamn gritty. And like I love their...
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're the Beatles could be too like Mary Poppins, like fucking like a little bit too.
I think I'm just sick of them as a British person. That's what it is. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like even like literally like someone else who busked here in London was like, oh my god, like Paul McCartney came and put money. So I was just sick of it, like in their bag. I was like.
Okay.
It just gets overdone here.
All right. Well, we all get it, Sir Paul McCartney. We all get it, guys. No, you know, like I think just because I like the catalog more, because with the Stones it's hit or miss for me. You know, like they can have some really, really great songs, but man, they can have some real stinkers too. You like Sherika? Yeah, well, we all like Sherika. That's easy. But with the Beatles, I think their catalog is a little more expansive and a little bit more palatable for me. But I do love the grit, and I did read Keith Richards' book about on Rolling Stones, so I have a little bit more information on them. So I do like what they do, but yeah, I guess the Beatles. I guess I'm just gonna be a Beatle guy. I've got to go soon, but I have very important question. What's your important question? Oh, your thoughts on... Okay, we got Amber's questions next, so we'll get Amber's questions done since she has to go next. Your thoughts on Oasis for Amber. We're going out of order here.
You know what it is, yeah? You know what it is with the Oasis, yeah? It's like... I don't dislike their songs... But here, like, it's just a certain demographic at gigs, yeah, that just want to sing Wonderwall, yeah, and it's like, you know what, yeah, you are sometimes the reason, yeah, that I question if I want to be a gigging musician, because like, it's not that and I just think I don't get the arrogance behind them. It's just a bit like Don't Look Back. I like the songs Don't Look Back in Anger. I think Oasis is a nice song. I just think sometimes, you know what it is? I think the British sometimes spoil certain songs, and I think that's what it is. with like Wonderwall and stuff. I'm like even that whole like thing that Oasis against Blur, I was like, really? Like, I just wasn't into it.
Yeah.
And this is probably why like my parents aren't from the UK. And this is
Yes.
and I guess I never grew up. I listened to the music, but when you introduce a certain music like to the wrong people, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're just a bit like, I'm just not into it. Not into it. It just reminds me of like, it's like Angels by Robbie Williams. Do you know that song? It's just a bit like, oh yeah, everyone's drunk and in a pub. All right, cool.
Sweet. I remember fondly of Chumbawambas. You have a whiskey drink, you have a vodka drink. You have that's what I remember. That's my British take on things. Which hey, it was a hit. Those people probably still get paid for that song.
Yeah, man.
So fuck it. Okay, so Amber has to go, and so we'll ask the other question. Who are your musical inspirations?
Oof. So Sam Cooke, like Marvin Gaye. I think those are the people that really got me into singing and songwriting, to be honest. Who else? I picked up the guitar because I actually loved Jack Johnson's album. He's like a guitarist, singer-songwriter from Hawaii. And I got into his music. Like that's what got me to pick up the guitar. I do love a bit of Eric Clapton. But yeah, like it's mainly Motown that really got me into being a musician.
Yeah,
really. And then like the guitar and the acoustic side just came from like Jack Johnson. That was being played when I was like 15, and it made me pick up the guitar, and John Mayer. And I don't know if you've heard of Paolo Nutini. Doesn't do much stuff, but he's got great stuff out. But yeah, those are the main influences really.
That's dope. I mean, those are some really heavy hitters. Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye and all those, and even John Mayer, man. I love John Mayer.
I love it.
I used to hate on John Mayer so much, but then I heard what Continuum, is that the name of the album? His album where it has it has Gravity on it, and it has Waiting for the World to Change, has I mean, that whole album is just from front to back just like amazing, and his guitar playing is excellent, and the fact that he's touring around with the Dead just makes him even cooler to me, just because there's an inner hippie that lives within this mustache. But
I totally get what you're saying though, that you have points where you hate it, because I actually saw him live in Wembley here in London, and I think sometimes, I don't know if it's this, but that frat boy personality sometimes comes out, and people just like, oh god, that guy. But but with him, I have to say, like, even when I tried to learn like some of his talent is like, it's undeniable, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely be well, Amber. Have a great day.
Take care, Amber.
Thank you for being here
for today,
and thank you for your questions. They were great. Have a good Friday. We speak English good. Okay, thank you. Bye, Reina. I guess Reina's leaving too. I didn't know. Everyone's going. It's all good. She's cool as fuck. No, I'm gonna go see John Mayer in April in Chicago. Hopefully I'll be able to go see it. Depending on if the pandemic decides to flare up again. So anything can happen. Have you booked any? Have you been booking any tours or anything like that? Like international things? I know you do international gigs, but.
Yeah, I haven't, man. I'm just waiting for this to pass. Like, I want to come over to America. Like, I got an American passport. I'm like, why the hell am I not using it?
Let's go.
I do want to go, come over there, because I've never actually had a gig in America. It's always been other places. So yeah, I do want to, but I think it'd probably be next year.
Yeah, just to sort of get past this, see how this rides out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm enjoying like getting like being more frequent on Twitch and stuff like that. And I think it's been nice getting to actually know people from different places and stuff like that. I think, cause that's the thing with Instagram. It's quite hard. Like, even if you got people liking your stuff and listen to your music, like the community that you make on Twitch, it's great because you actually are getting to know where people are and stuff like that. And I'd like to really like make use of that and actually travel out to places. So yeah.
Yeah, with Twitch, have you have you noticed any sort of is there anything, or is there organic growth, I should say? Have you seen any organic growth, and seeing your numbers as in like on Spotify and on your different social media platforms? You're doing great, but have you seen any changes with coming on here on this platform?
On Twitch, it seems like it mainly, like, I do, like, when I was front page and stuff like that, and I do get occasional like follows on Instagram and on Facebook, but it is mainly on Twitch. In terms of like plays on my Spotify and stuff like that, I can't see exactly, but I have seen that, oh, like this track is being played more and stuff like that, because I do try and look at that regularly. It's a funny thing with Twitch, because even when I was doing my like research on other people, it seems like the growth is on there. And I've been really lucky because I started streaming frequently from about November. Like, I was watching, that's how I knew about Reina, because I was watching people for like since like early last year.
Oh, cool.
And so which was great. And then so I started like regularly streaming from November, and yeah, it's been good. But because I got onto the Black History Month campaign, and then front page, I haven't really been able to see what my actual growth is, because I know that I'm being promoted.
Right.
So I don't really know. It's quite hard. Yeah. Like, I look at the Twitch tracker and stuff like that, but it's I don't really know a lot about what's going on behind the scenes. And like, sometimes Twitch is like saying that I've got like 300 viewers and then it goes down. So it's been hard to keep on top, because I feel like they are wanting to push my channel, but I'm not able to actually see what the actual numbers are saying until maybe I've just been asked to opt in for this Women's History Month.
Oh,
so
cool.
I don't know if I'll do that, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then it will be good to actually see what numbers I'm actually getting with not. But I'm not complaining. God, it's great to. A lot more people are coming into the chat and stuff like that, and it's been great. And I've actually never been able to really get to know people that are wanting to listen to my music frequently. So it's just been great in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. The greatest thing about Twitch is that it sort of creates like your super fans. Like, you find your super fans, the ones who are like, you're gonna get to know them, like you're gonna get to, like, they're gonna support you. And I hate talking about people in front of them. It's so weird for me. But like, what I'm saying, like it's like, because people here are obviously really like you. They wouldn't be here if they didn't like you. And so people, what Twitch is great on is that it seems to build like a really awesome community of like super fans who are gonna be supportive, who are subscribing, want to hear your music, request your music. Like, you're not just a jukebox to them. You're like a real artist to them, and opposed to even going out and playing it at like pubs or stuff like that. Where you are just basically the background noise or a jukebox for people to be like, play Bon Jovi, or play Wonderwall,
Don't get me started, man.
So it's like,
and that's the thing. I do feel like everyone is happy to be there to watch me try out things, to watch me grow. Like even with how my stream went today, it was just so funny that people are just like, oh, well, hell, what about this? I'm like, this is crazy, because it's just a bit like it becomes part of the novelty in that way, and I like that, because it makes me be a bit more chilled. Like, it's like, oh, like I get to just chill out. And honestly, like when I was watching like Twitch before, it was just like people were just like, oh yeah, it's just so nice to hang out, and I'm just like, oh yeah, you hear people say that, but when you're actually on stream, and you know what it's like, sometimes before you press live, you're a bit like, oh, am I just gonna be a bum today? Like, I'm a bit tired. You know what I mean? Is anyone gonna want to actually talk with me? And honestly, it's that thing that when you see like people's names come up and they come in again, and even if it's like, they come up and they haven't been around for a while, it's just still nice, because I think, especially as a musician, for me, especially I've started to like try and produce my own music and stuff like that, you can just be in this cave and, overthinking every little thing. And, I'm there thinking, oh my God, is the frequency right on this yet? Ain't no one caring about that. People just want to get on and just chill out, and people love music at the end of the day. And that's what I love about Twitch. It's actually allowed me to fall back in love with what I do, and actually, just have a bit more of a chilled vibe to it, really.
Yeah, exactly, Bonnie. Feedback and support in real time. I mean, It's like it's hard to find another platform or even a social media platform for that matter that sort of gives you that kind of real-time feedback where you know and you know take it or leave it, but still it's like today, you know, people when things were going down like you were saying, it's like people were like, oh, maybe it's your bit rate, or it was me, sample rate or whatever, or start it over, it's OBS, it's unit, you know, like everybody's just sort of trying to work together to figure this thing out because they just want to see the show go on. And even if the show is like kind of glitchy and kind of, you know, slow-mo or whatever, people are still like, yay, you know? So it's like, I love, there's never been a platform that is so forgiving, that is so, you know, just, the one example, the reason why I even asked if you saw like external growth from coming from Twitch was because Reina, before she started, like, you know, her Spotify numbers weren't great, and like, you know, what Twitch did for her other platforms was insane. Like people listen to her music, and people are sharing her stuff, people are sharing her videos, people are doing these things, and this is all coming from Twitch and building this really insanely cool community, and like and being able to sort of, and it's mobilized, it's something where people are ready to go out and do that. And she has Grundy Fest, which is something she's doing live in Seattle, which people already have plane tickets for. So it's just,
that's
it
crazy.
really, right? So it really created this really Twitch really creates this really intensely amazing group of fans for people, and for, you know, and it's just great because depending on how you create or build your community, it can be this like really awesome supportive place, and support for you and for them.
Yeah. And I feel like I can actually like give properly, like in terms of like streaming regularly, and it's just like, you know, a lot of other people I know that were streaming a bit like, oh, it's just such hard work, and the problem is with you just thinking it's just such hard work is because you ain't putting the time into making a connection with people, and you're thinking that, you know, you just got to be like this artist that's have a bunch of money pushed behind them, and they're being put in front of everyone, but they're having to pay all that money back. Right. So you're saying, oh, it's just too much work. It's just like, well, I always think to myself, like, honestly, people are just like, oh, you always say thank you to everyone, even when they followed and stuff. I say, that's someone giving me their time. Like all these companies, they're wanting people's attention. So the fact that these people are giving me their attention, and I'm just singing, you know, the songs that I've written, and so I think it's great, and it's allowing me to be thankful that, oh, someone is listening to my music today. It's just nice, and and actually having a bond with them, because, you know, when you see like some of these people at gigs and stuff like that, they're tired because they don't really know these people, and they're just being like, you know, so it's a great platform, and I'm really looking forward to, like, you know, just putting the work in and stuff like that. Because when I first started, you know, when I wasn't affiliate, so I was like streaming to all the platforms, and, you know, even though I had more followers on YouTube and like way more followers on Facebook, because I hadn't had that relationship with those followers, and like it was just really sporadic, and it would just be like, hey, love your music, or just sing. Even though people do this on Twitch, they're like, oh, can you just sing this? And it's like, I don't really have a relationship with you, so I'm just kind of being a bit of a performance monkey. Right. But now when I like put on Twitch, I'm like, oh, I'll just go live now. It's cool. Like, as I said, sometimes I'm a bit like, oh my God, I feel butters today. But then sometimes it's like, it's chill, man. And I really like it. Really like it for that.
Yeah, you know, JX Vicehawk, if you don't know her music, here's some links so you can go ahead and follow up, y'all. My shout out thing doesn't work, but I have a link thing all over here that I can copy and paste in there. So go make sure you guys are following Sherika, and if you're listening on the audio side, go in the show notes, make sure you're clicking on those links and following up Sherika so you can stay up to date with what she's doing. You said that you're producing your own music now, and so are you doing like your own recording? Are you engineering your stuff? Like how deep are you going on this?
Yeah, well, I'm just going as deep until I can actually have some money to pay someone, really.
Hey, like, there you go.
My last track that I did, I just literally just mixed mastered it myself, and even though it's like it's not the best, it's not where I'd want it to be, it just kind of gets to the point where it's like, just get the music out there, you know. I think and And at least when I get it out there, more people would hear it and like want to help me. It's been a hard journey because I've always played just guitar and voice, like, you know, at the beginning of my career, and I always had ideas. And then I'd get into rooms with producers, and, you know, they love, like, you know, old Tracy Chapman. And I'm not saying I'm not against that, but it's like when you have a vision for your music and someone's saying Tracy Chapman, it's like, it's actually not that. And I think, to be honest with them, with a lot of the producers I worked with, it was more because, you know, Tracy Chapman, you know, appeals to a wide range of audience, and I get that. But for me, I was like, I want to try out different things. Like, even if it doesn't work, even someone's like, oh, this is, at least I know that because sometimes I'll sit in like studio sessions and I'm just a bit like, I don't feel in control. And I know that sometimes you don't, but if you don't have that relationship with the producer, you're just kind of wasting your time and their time.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, if I try and learn a bit of stuff myself, you know, at least I can say, oh, actually, no, I prefer this, or can we try this? So it's been nice in that way. But yeah, it's a lot of work because, you know, it's like, even like, it wasn't last year, but the year before, I like did like a Christmas song. I produced, mixed and mastered it. Then I did the video, and it's like, oh my God, like it's a lot of stuff, and it's great. But I think it's getting to the point where it's like, you know, when I get more funds, I do want to like pay someone. But it's just, it's been a nice experience though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the when you take it all on in yourself, and oh my God, that's so much.
Yeah.
No, I did that with my last release, and it's like I did animation, so like it was like even more stuff. And at the point, there was just one point, and like it wasn't that much animation, it was just like mouth movements, but that's so hard. And at some point I was just like, all right, I'm done. I'm just gonna copy and paste these little animations, and it's just gonna make the same movements throughout the whole thing. I don't care, because it was because it's so intense. And I mean, the kind of animation I was doing is not even that as intense as it can be. And it's just, it's so much. It's so much. So I feel that. And I was trying to pay someone to animate this, and I couldn't find someone to pay. Like, I had the money to pay someone to do it, and I couldn't find anyone to do it. And so...
Because you get those people that just say, yeah. And it's like, no. And
we could do it. And like, here's the price. Let's get it going. And then it's like, what? Radio silence. Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess that's not... You know, it's very frustrating. I mean, working with others can be very frustrating. But once you find like a group of people that you can really rely on and trust and stuff, that's where it's at. Because trying to put together that crew and have that amount of trust in somebody, like you said, you're sitting in the studio. This is supposed to be your album with your name on it, with your face on it, and you don't even feel like you're a part of it. You know? So
exactly. And that's the thing. They like to make you feel like, oh, you just don't understand. It's like, I do understand, because it's my music. So if saying that, like, it doesn't, stop trying to make it like a technical thing, you know, because it's not that. And I was just reading Reina's like comment, and it's exactly that. It's like, I had like, there was this time I went to Barbados, and I was working with this, I was supposed to be working with this other producer, and it was like, I knew that he was just used to getting loops on the computer and just making a beat and making something sound cool. You cannot do that with me. Like, I realize I can't do that with myself, because, you know, I'm quite free flowing. I love the acoustic. I love my sound, but it's not straightforward like that, where it's like, oh, this is a cool beat, so I've got so many lyrics in it, so you got to think a bit more about the production and stuff like that. And it's exactly that. It's like, especially if they ain't getting the money like that they want, or they don't think it's their big break, they don't want to put the time in. And that's why I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to try and do what I can by myself. And it's like what you said, even when sometimes there were some people that I did pay, but it was just that thing where they just want to say, oh and it's like, but you're not listening to me. Like, it's a hard one, but I'm enjoying the journey of learning anyway. So
why not? I mean, that's just it's like learning how to stream and stuff. That was like an intense thing, but like now that I know it, like it's also, it's opened the doors for other things as well. So like, it's another skill that I've acquired. How was learning the stream for you? Was it was it as maddening as it is for everyone else, or did you have a good grasp on tech before you got into this?
I am quite like, I think it was more YouTube. Like, I was all right at certain things, and like with OBS, I kind of like got onto that quite quickly, which was quite good for me. But you know, there were some things where it was like, to be honest, the thing that I found a bit hard was actually the more the commands and everything like that on on Twitch and stuff like that. Once I had the camera set up, YouTube kind of helped me with that. It was fine. Like what happened today, I don't to this day. To this minute, I don't really know like what the hell happened there. I need to check what my camera's saying because I haven't been able to pull it back on since. But other than that, it's actually, it's actually been okay. It's been okay. The only time where it got a bit hard is when I'm trying to do like looping stuff. But because it's just acoustic and voice, it hasn't been too bad. So yeah.
Yeah. It's really just the initial setup, and then all of a sudden your computer really wants to just do something that it's not supposed to do, and it's just like, oh, okay, you're doing that now. Okay, great.
So weird, man. And it's like you have no control because it's just like it's not like hardware, is it? It's just a bit like, oh, okay, I don't know why you've done that. But it's as I said, I think everyone in the Twitch community has just made it like really easy, like, you know, it's chilled, like, and I always think to myself, you know, and I started when I watch people as well, I'm not thinking, oh my god, this has happened. I'm like, oh, they're having technical difficulties, like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck that what that is, so it's just chilled. But it's bit, the transition that was a bit weird with Twitch, and I think as someone who busks, like, you see people's facial reactions.
Right.
So you can kind of, so it was a bit weird for me because I'm not used to reading while I'm singing. I still haven't mastered that yet. But, you know, for me, when I started busking on the street, you know, just going out there and seeing people's reaction and being part of their day, and kind of the mood was already set. And so obviously sitting here and being like, and obviously when you look at the creator dashboard, it's very about numbers, you know, and that's something where I don't want to, like, even being on front page, like, of course it's great. Like, I appreciate, I'm not putting that down, but it becomes about, oh, it's gone up to this much, oh, it's gone to about that much. And that setup as well, it's like, sometimes I try not to just to close my eyes or not to look too much because I can see myself just being like, I'm in autopilot and I'm not in the song.
Yes.
So that, I think that more than anything was, and also thinking that something's just going to stop as well. So you're just checking things at the same time.
Yeah.
It can mess up the performance a bit. And I do want to feel like, you know, someone is getting a good performance, because, you know, sometimes you look at some streamers and it's like, you know, you can see they're just waiting for the tip jar to come in and stuff like that. And I have to say, like, with some of my friends, it was literally like that. They're just talking about, oh yeah, but, you know, people subscribe, but they don't realize that, you know, Twitch take a big cut. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But at the end of the day, it's just like, this is the platform, you know? And even though it is hard, it's like, either just don't do it or don't just sit there and just getting frustrated about those numbers, because I just don't think you could enjoy it that way.
No, you can't. No, it's impossible. That's why I turn my numbers off. Those numbers are been dead to me for a long time.
Oh, is it? That's
I turn that shit off, because no matter what you think and no matter how much you try, when you see your numbers fluctuating, or if you're just having a weird day and, like, you know, you have 2 people in stream and you're just like, what's going on? It's going to affect your performance, and it affects mine. It's just like looking at it's just like, I just out of mind, no more numbers. It's like, let's focus on, you know, doing the best thing the best show we can do at this moment, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Oh, Jord, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out and asking questions. Oh shit, hold on, Jord. Let me ask you a thing. Jord has one more question, and I'll ask it very quickly. Do you think that Bohemian Rhapsody is overrated or too hyped?
You know what? I used to hate that song, but I used to, because I had to do it in, like, a choir in school, and I used to hate it, but now I love it. So I think I just loved Freddie Mercury's character, and I think it worked because of who he was. I didn't mind, like, even the video. I have to say, I quite liked it. I liked it. I like something that's just so weird, especially during that time in music. So yeah, I have to say I don't mind the song, and I do find myself singing it sometimes.
You gotta love it. Not overrated, but a little overhyped. You know what? But the interesting thing about that song is that it didn't really get a lot of hype when it first came out, but, like, it was Wayne's World that sort of brought that song back to the forefront, and that probably overhyped it. But I honestly just think that that song has been great. Like the fact that Queen existed at the time that they existed is just incredible of its own. You know, Freddie Mercury and his really gifted mind, and the band itself. Jordy, thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate that. I really do. And now we're 26% Mexican. Yes, we're growing. We're growing as Mexicans, folks. But yeah, Queen's amazing. Queen's amazing. But yeah, I honestly don't think it's overrated or too hyped at all. Queen isn't insane. Brian May, he's like a fucking rocket scientist, right? Isn't Brian May a rocket scientist? I think he's some kind of scientist. Brian May, scientist. I gotta know now. It's gotta know. Oh, Sherika, I just want to check in and make sure we're not going over. How much more time do you got?
I got until 7. I need to literally run out the door at 7. So.
Okay, and then is that in like 25 minutes for you?
25, trying to do my calculation. Yeah, 25 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll get you out a little longer, a little earlier than that, so we don't, so you don't have to run out the door. Maybe you can just briskly walk out the door. Tell me, what you have a gig tonight, right?
Yeah. It's literally just 15 minutes down the road, so thank God, hopefully. But yeah, it's sold out, so should be a good one.
That's dope. What is it? Tell us about it.
It's just it's actually a folk night. Like, this happens a lot. Like, even though I get booked for a lot of sort of folk, but my music always goes down well, so it's really nice. But yeah, it's like this duo that I've known for a long time now. They've always just loved my gigs and stuff like that, and always just booked me. And they were like, "Look, we're doing a new music night down the road," and I was like, "Wow, 15 minutes for a gig that rarely happens in London." So yeah.
That's dope.
So it should be cool.
Yeah,
it's like.
Are you back to gigging regular, like out gigging out in like pubs and stuff, or is that not your thing?
You know what? Since like being on Twitch and so, I just haven't. Not that it's been able to replace it, but like I used to like take like the small bookings, and then I have like the corporate like bookings, but because they've started coming in now. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to use this month to get used to being on Twitch. So then I can be like, it wouldn't be so much like, oh my God, I'm on Twitch tonight. And I can like work it around bookings and stuff. This is the first time I've had a booking while I've done, and also done Twitch. But yeah, and to be honest, for me, I just prefer, well, it is with some of the pub bookings here. Sometimes it gets to the point that I'm just a bit like, I'd just rather busk. And so, I found recently for the past few months, I've been a bit like, look, unless they're actually to pay my fee, I'm just not going to take it. And obviously, you know, the pub circuit isn't that good, but I've just kind of cut them down because I'm like, you know, I want to save my voice and I really want to build on being on Twitch. And yeah, so right now I haven't had to because I've been able to get like some bookings and stuff like that. And that's more like corporate office events and stuff like that.
With you guys opening back up, like the country just sort of just acting like nothing ever happened, which I'm not against, by the way. I kind of wish that would happen here, but have the pubs come back? Have people been able to start working again? Are people getting paid what they've been getting paid before the pandemic?
It's literally, if you don't put on the news here, it's like there was never a pandemic, I think. Yeah. No one's wearing masks on the tubes. No one cares. The only thing is that, you know, is because no one's been able to travel out anywhere. But what's it like where you are then? Is it still like quite restricted or?
I'm in Ohio, and Ohio gives very, very little fucks. We haven't given a fuck for a long time. Yeah, I've been going to the gym without a mask since last February. So like it's pretty much like whatever you want to do, just, you know, try to be safe. You know, don't cough in people's faces, and you know, they do ask if you aren't vaccinated to wear a mask, but no one's doing that. Like,
and what's it like traveling to other states? Like, are you guys have to be vaccinated or?
No. To travel within states, it's fine. It's just every state has their own policy. So, like, I'm going to California in April for a tour. So, that's everyone's masked over there. Everyone's worried about everything still. Everyone's sort of like really uptight. But if you come into like the Midwest or like like no one gives a shit. Everyone's like, we're over it. It's really the places that are really different are the places that are just constantly being bombarded and seen on the news, like New York, and even New York just lifted all their mask mandates like nothing ever happened. So like, it's just a very weird time here in the States because nothing is across the board, and it never has been. And I think that's part of the problem about the pandemic, that there was never like any, like this is how it's going to be across the board. Like it was always like it's this now, and it's over here it's that, and over in this region it's that, and it's like when you hear about like Australia, you just think it's like some like crazy totalitarian like communist state now, but it's really just certain parts of the country that are kind of locked down in weird ways. But what's really weird is seeing this stuff happen in Canada right now is this trucker convoy, and how much people are accepting their civil liberties being taken away to stop a mostly peaceful protest. It's been really weird. Have you seen anything about the trucker convoy? I know the trucker convoy is sort of becoming an international thing now. But yeah, there's like the truckers in Canada are revolting against the mandates. And because they're trying to mandate your vaccine, whether you can cross the border. And so what the truckers have done is they've gathered and they blocked like important crossings. Like they've blocked the bridge between Windsor and Detroit, and they cleared that. But what's interesting now is that they're freezing people's bank accounts. People who donated, their names got leaked. So you're getting businesses who are getting harassed for donating to this cause. What else are they doing? I mean, they're doing a lot of crazy, like freezing people's bank accounts. That's nuts. What?
That's crazy.
What else were they doing? They're doing a bunch of wild shit right now, and America's just sort of looking at like, what is happening here? Yeah. So as Americans, we're just sort of like, whoa, fuck those people. Vice Hawk, do you think that they're a bunch of Nazis like Trudeau says? Or do you actually pay attention to the news? Because whatever you're hearing on the mainstream media is wrong. I gotta tell everybody that if you're watching CNN to get your information, you're watching nothing but misinformation. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. They are waving Nazi. Yeah, the images you saw, Hawk, the images you saw is Nazi flags, but mostly it's peaceful people with jump houses and kids playing and music. You should really watch other things other than the mainstream media. Not trying to shit on you, Vice Hawk, but you should be more informed before you just start saying they're mostly vax. The truckers are 90% vaccinated. Canada is 90% vaccinated. How are you saying they're anti-vax? Movie Dutchman, how dare you? Thank you so much, my friend. All right, listen. This is obviously getting off topic of where we were. So let's just draw it back a little bit. Let's just draw back a little bit. Let's forget about Canada and their totalitarian. I mean, Hawk, you really think that you really think that bank accounts being frozen is a right response to this? When a couple years ago we had people burning down buildings and firebombing fucking government buildings, and they were bailed out by our own government. So I just think it's a weird juxtaposition when you see how a couple years ago you have Trudeau, who was kneeling with BLM and supporting riots, and now we have a mostly peaceful protest going against a narrative, and now it's like they're terrorists, they're Nazis, they're all this. I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about the use of like all these like calling people racists and Nazis and terrorism whenever it seems to be convenient for people?
Yeah, honestly, like all those labels just go over my head now. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just think sometimes it's just more like, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but when I hear that, I'm already like, okay, I need to actually be more informed and actually find out about this story. Because like you said, I think with the media and stuff like that, it's just like, you know, even like a friend of mine's always like, oh yeah, we've got the Tories here, like, oh, this person's a Tory, it's Tory vibes, and I'm just like, you can't be like, even for me, it's something that I learned, that like, even when I was talking about you know, we have parties like the BNP here and stuff like that. I'm not saying that every single person that votes for them in is a racist. I can't. I think some people are misinformed and stuff like that. And so yeah, when people are using those labels, it just makes me want to do my own research, basically.
Yes.
You know?
I feel that too. It's like anytime I start seeing images of Nazis or if they start using Nazis or white supremacy or anything, it always triggers something in my head that it's like, there's more to this than that. There's more to this. Is like they were going after Dave Chappelle again last week, and they were saying that he was against poor people because he was trying to stop an affordable housing build in his little town here in Ohio. And so, like, they were calling him against poor people, and they were calling him, you know, fascist, whatever. They were using all the words. And I was like, let's dig a little deeper. Well, it turns out that this affordable housing unit is going to be like 1 or 2 units that are going to be affordable, and the rest are going to be like $400,000 condos that are not affordable for anybody. And so that they were just sort of riding the line on what is considered affordable housing. And so it's like, you got to immediately question, as soon as they start using these key words that have become so prevalent, and I mean, they've made those words almost useless and mean nothing anymore.
Exactly.
And they should mean way more. You know, they should mean that. They should mean what they mean, but they don't, because they're using it on everybody, on anybody. They've called Dave Chappelle a white supremacist. You know what I mean? He's black, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how black people can be white supremacists, but hey, you know, this is not my ideology. This is not my religion. You know what I'm saying? It's not that's not the pulpit I bow down to. So whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I just think with those titles, I think it's so true what you said. Like, if you're just throwing it around all the time, it's just like, oh, okay, that person's this, okay, this person's this. It's just like, you need to actually have the conversation then, because sometimes I say, oh, didn't that person do this? And somebody's like, oh, you just believe what you said. I said didn't they? All right, so calm down. I'm not saying that they definitely did. I'm asking you. And I understand why they react like that, because it's something that's been shared and it's not true. And I get that. But that's why I asked. I didn't say, oh, but that person's this, that person that. I'm asking, is that true? Because even when COVID happened, like, so much bullshit was just being shared about. And people were like, you can't share this, you can't share that. And I'm like, why are we getting angry at people for sharing things? Surely it gets to the point where, like you say, I ain't gonna believe that. I ain't gonna believe that. I'm gonna have to go and do my own research. And that's the thing. It's like, my mum, like, she gets cussed by all of us in the family, because she's always sharing like WhatsApp like stuff, and you know when it says, oh, been forwarded many times, and she's like this, and I'm like, it's scary for the older generation, because she actually starts saying, yes, my friend told me. I said, well, what friend was this? It was a guy on TikTok. I was like, exactly. Like, you need to like do your research and stuff like that. And I think that's the problem now, is that conversations are, oh yeah, but this isn't this, and it's like, you gotta have the conversation. Don't just say, okay, it's definitely this. I question everything I hear now, everything.
Yeah.
And if I'm not bothered to do my research on it, I do not know. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, they are in the next few weeks, I think, or at least some provinces are, but it would have happened without them causing all the nonsense, and numbers are going down. Yeah, maybe, Bonnie, but it seems like your guys' prime minister is like so set on keeping this narrative going, even though all your premiers are having very different. I mean, did you see how he got bitched out? And like, I watched it. Like, he was talking like he was programmed by the corporate masters themselves. He is just an extension of the World Health, the World what is it? The WEF? What is that? And he's just a corporate arm. He's the arm of Pfizer, okay? He is just like, they're like, you say this because these vaccines need to keep going. And again, I'm not anti-vax, everybody. Go get vaccinated. If you guys, you know what, it's out there, it's free. Go get vaccinated, but make sure you check with your doctor and make sure it's right for you, okay? I'm not against the vaccine, everybody. I love the vaccine. This is the greatest vaccine ever made. It's the best vaccine ever, okay? So I'm not against the vaccine at all. But I am saying that you know, people have the right to decide on what goes into their body, and the fact that that it's made such a big, horrible stink.
I was nervous getting mine. Like I was just
bet.
like, I had to like shake it off because it was just like my mom is anti-vaccine, and it's just like, you know, it's a weird thing because you just got to do your research. That's the thing. It's scary.
No, it is scary. It is scary, and like you know, the vaccine, it's there, and so for people that don't want to, the WWE, stop, Reina. You know, and if you don't want to get the vaccine, who cares? You know, it's fine.
No, who cares? That's what I'm saying. Like, oh god, people going on and on about it. I'm like, really? You've got nothing else to talk about, mate.
Right? Because
we all get it then.
We all know that we all know that. I mean, whether you're vaccinated or not, you're gonna catch it anyways, right? Like, it doesn't matter, folks. Like, the science, we're following the science, y'all. So it's all good. We're not stopping this thing. It's gonna keep going. But hey, now that we've sort of pissed everybody off, or I've pissed everybody off. I'm sorry, not Sherika, because Sherika has been so great and great with her words, and I feel like I've been just mouth shitting for like an hour.
I'm not great with my words, but it's been refreshing to be on here because I feel like when I'm streaming my music, it's like I talk about myself, but I feel like there's a bit more of a barrier because it's like you're singing and it's interconnected with the song. Here, I can just say what I want, so it's nice.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate you being open and honest about how you feel about these things. I've definitely had guests on who are like, I'm just gonna sit here in silence, and that's fine too. That's fine too. That is your choice. But I just can't see myself as an artist, fucking keeping my mouth shut on things that I believe in. So, I that's where I choose to live my artist life is reflecting the times and what I like to do, and what moves me and motivates me. So hey. Sherika Sherard, is there anything coming up that we should be looking out for? Is there any big plans, or is there any final words that you would love to leave us with?
Just come and join me on my Twitch streams. I'm going to be doing more production streams soon. But yeah, I'm hoping to release a song next month when I get my shit together. But yeah, just follow me. And I'm gonna be pushing my streams and doing as many as possible. Well, I'm gonna stick to 3 because I don't want to burn myself out. But yeah, just come and join me. Really. Yeah.
There you go. And all the links are right there. And if you're listening on the audio end, go and click on the links in the show notes. Moving Dutchman, we are going to reserve that Baby Yoda interview for another time because Sherika has to run and get to a gig. So we're going to let our dear friend Sherika go. Sherika Sherard, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been just such a joy and pleasure.
It has.
I really appreciate it. I will be in touch about the audio release and all that stuff. You have a wonderful gig, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, everybody say bye.
Bye.
All right. Sherika Sherard. Hold on, I gotta get the reverb.